Welcome to the Live Sports of New Mexico show. My name is Chris. I'm here with Brian, and we're here to talk about any type of sports, our faith, whatever it is. And today we're really going to talk about a few things, a few topics we got. When people go against us, how do we fight back, basically, or what do we do when someone does something is evil or messed up to us? How to respond back, and then we're also going to talk about, because it is summertime. It is, I know as athletes it was either sleep in or we had to go work out. So we're going to kind of talk about, see what kind of athlete you guys are, and what you're doing over the summer. So let's really get into this one. I think it's really huge, especially now. There's a Twitter world and Instagram world where you kind of go back and forth. There's a whole bunch of talk now, LeBron versus Michael Jordan, and you see people getting personal. We had a political campaign and people got personal. What do you think, how do you think people could handle stuff like that when they see they're going back and forth? They're like, they don't really like them. They're not really liking what they're doing. What can they do to kind of really stop that and, turn it for good?
It's interesting because I was once a bit of a trash talker. In fact, still like to talk some trash from time to time. I remember letting some referees have it back in the day, and so, I think there's a part of it that is it's fun, it's healthy. A part of it is to spur on the competition to help those you're competing with get better. But when we have to be careful is when it does begin to really hurt. Right. When you're not really helping build someone up, but you're really tearing them down, and you have that maliciousness in your heart. And the Bible speaks pretty clearly about it. Our reaction, if someone does bad to us, we want to do bad back. Right. But Jesus comes in, flips the script. He says, do good to those who do evil to you. And so really that's what we have to do. We have to do good. So when you start to see people throw out their opinions and you start to see people tear people down, we have to make sure that we're responding in a way that is always trying to build someone up, that's always trying to help someone get better. We don't, just because we disagree with someone's opinion doesn't mean we hate them as a person. Right. And I think that's what's happening. Just because someone differs in opinion, and then you get into racism and all those kinds of things, just because of difference of opinions, but that doesn't mean you actually hate them as a person. Right,
and that's what, when I was reading the Bible earlier today, I saw that passage. Don't fight evil with evil or insult with insult. Instead, the contrary is, be a blessing to them. Right. And so I'm starting to see that, with people, like we were talking about how there are a difference of opinions, and in today's world, love is, people are saying you have to be accepting. You have to, agree with everything everybody else is doing, which that isn't true.
That's not even real love.
It's not.
And it's just funny because it's so magnified with the rise of social media. Right. You see things that much more clearly. You have the ability and a platform to air your opinions, and really what people are calling love is actually really hating on other people. Right. So it is just getting worse and worse and more magnified, and so it's a great thought.
If love is agreement, then that means you're going to disagree with somebody. So it doesn't make sense. And even as a coach, that's how we have to kind of show it, is that tough love, kind of, quote unquote, especially with coaching and stuff like that. Like, I have to tell a kid, if they're not going hard, if they're not playing hard, I have to tell them, like, hey, you're just not cutting out for it. You're not doing your job. You're not pulling your weight. So I really think it's really important for us when we talk about this, evil for evil. Even kids want to do it. Even athletes, you guys as athletes, you want to, like, I don't like that coach because he's telling me off, he's mean to me, whatever it is, but that's not how it should be. It should be, just kill him with kindness. It's like, all right, yes, coach, I'll do what you ask. And then you'll eventually see how well that works out for you. And I really think that worked out for me when I was in high school. I think my coach really tried to help me play college basketball because I just respected him. I don't always like what, or agree with what he wanted me to do. He wanted me to come off the bench. He didn't want me to play varsity right away. So I was kind of have some, back and forth with that. But he's like, just respect his decision. Know he has what's best for me, and then eventually worked out. So I think this when we go back and forth, evil for evil, then eventually you get nowhere, because then you stop listening, basically. I see it on social media. Sometimes I just read the comments. I'm like, I just don't want to be a part of that, because people are just going back and forth. They have their biased opinions, and so I think it's really important that we just have that. All right, you know what? Let's just be a blessing. Let's just say what's on our mind, but to help somebody else. But
Yeah, and I've heard this, and it sounds like you did exactly that. Is that life is 10% what happens to us, but 90% how we respond to that. It's really our attitude and how we respond to when things happen to us. And I love what you said, kill them with kindness. Yeah. And really that's what we have to do sometimes. What's something maybe that happened to you that you responded in a way? Maybe bad happened to you, but then how did you respond?
Even especially after college, my parents are like, man, I worked up I was working hard as a basketball player. Then I had to find a job. I had to find all these things. And my parents were like, man, are you going to find something? Or you get whatever? And then they eventually say, you know what? I just lost faith in you. And after that, it was just like, that's when I really started running to God. I was like, well, God, I know you have faith in me. I know you have what's right for me, so I'm really just gonna fight hard. And then eventually, I have aunts and uncles like, come on, get off your butt and start working. And eventually now I'm teaching, now I'm coaching, and now they're kind of like, okay, he's doing it. He's working hard. So it's really, they could get us down, but if we respond in the right way, I think we could just use that as fire, basically. What people try to put evil on us, we just use it as fire to get better.
And it reminds me of a quote, save the drama for your mama.
There it is.
Save the drama for your mama. And hey, listen, we want to hear from you. How do you respond when bad things happen to you or someone does evil to you? How do you respond? We want to know. So hit us up on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We want to hear from you. We want to hear about how this has maybe affected you and how you reacted in certain situations. So stick around because up next we're going to be talking about what kind of athlete are you really? Are you slacking off this summer, or are you working hard, getting prepared? So you're not going to want to miss what we got up next for you.
Dangerous right there. Beautiful pass ahead, but Pavlet comes out. At this opportunity, he's taking all of them. Farpo, Pavlet's out. 100, but he was at Star Brothers before the contest. A deflection. Yep. There's Goss and Pavlet. Lawrence wants to make that run. Oh, there's the goal. Good look here. Luke, yes, Lawrence slots it in. Salim took it away nicely. Oh, what a nutmeg there. Here comes Lawrence on a run. He's got a lot of options. He's going to take the shot. Goal from Clancy. Well, maybe not. We might get another run. Yes. Tommy Ramos.
Folks, there's no other way but to be all in. Either he's Lord of all or he is not Lord at all. And you can experience the real and authentic, true life change that only God can provide to humanity. See, when we truly encounter Jesus and purpose to know him and follow his teachings, hashtag life change will occur.
Welcome back to the Live Sports in New Mexico show. Today we have talked about evil for evil. Do we fight evil with evil or insult with insult? No, we actually do the contrary, where we actually try to be a blessing to others and kill them with kindness. But now we're going to be into our summertime topic. Where is it? Are you a slacker? Are you the one that, you have summertime, you're on your own. Usually coaches, some coaches, depending what sport, you're off for the summer. But what are you doing? I mean, there's no school. What can you possibly be doing? And are you sleeping in? Are you working out early? What is it that you're doing? For me personally, it was always getting up early. The reason why I like getting up early because I knew a lot of others weren't doing so because they were, they were sleeping in. I was like, man, I'm getting better while everyone else is sleeping in. So that was my biggest thing. What kind of athlete were you in the summertime?
Well, for me, summer, it is good to get a little bit of rest,
right? To
get a little bit of vacation, to recharge, to refresh, right. But it's also a time to really get that competitive edge. Mm-hmm. It's the time where on the football team, we're lifting weights the hardest. We're running the most. They're taking us out to the sand hills by the airport and killing us. And so, but it's those times that really made us better. Mm-hmm. So when the season came around, we're that much better, we're that much stronger, we're in that much better shape because we're working out hard in the summer. Mm-hmm. And I think it's important to use the summer to your advantage, just like you said, just like you do, because that's what's going to make the difference between you and the competition is the work you're willing to put in before the season. Not just wait till the season rolls around and then get serious, but get serious before the preparation and the training. Mm-hmm. I think it's the Boy Scout code or some quote somewhere that those who fail to prepare to fail.
Right.
And so it's important that you use the summer to really prepare to win.
Right. And that's why I tell my players, it's not, you don't start working when the season is, the season is starting, all of a sudden you turn on a switch and you're good. I'm working with my players now over the summer. We're running hills, we're working out in the morning. And I'm telling these guys, hey, this is what's going to pay off. Because I remember when I would do this in high school, and it'd be the fourth quarter, it's 2 minutes left, and we're looking at the other team, they're dying, they're tired. And we're like, hey, this is why we ran all those hills. This is why we run all the time. This is why we got up in the morning. So it all starts to come back. I think that's how it should work, is that you put in that work and you see it reap as you go on the season. Right. And so I really think that's where individuals, even teams, are made. Is really during that time, because it's like whoever works the hardest in the summer usually ends up with the better results.
And I was never that great of a student, but it's kind of the same concept. You're not just going to go in to take a test without preparing, or you're probably going to fail that test. You're going to put the work in beforehand. You're going to study, you're going to read, you're going to do your homework, that kind of stuff, and then you'll do that much better on the test. When the season comes around, that's the test. Yep. Game day is the test, so how have you prepared beforehand? That's going to make the difference between a win and a loss.
Yeah, that's what I'm really starting to see. Like, even as a coach, like as a player, I didn't see it. I just love working hard, love doing what I was doing. But that's what I really think these players and these coaches need to understand, because yes, it's always good to get a vacation time. It's always, that's what, I've planned my vacations. I got my vacation set out, but also when I'm not on vacation, what am I doing? After when school ended, there was actually there was a week where I wasn't doing anything. And I was waiting for it too. As a teacher, as a coach, I'm like, man, the school year was so stressful. I finally got some time off. But then I'm like, man, I'm not doing anything. I'm not working hard. And so I think that just having that mentality now, it's like, man, I just want to keep working and working and working, and then earn that vacation time, because we do. We need it. I mean, it says. I mean, there's studies that tell us, we'll live long as we have vacations and stuff like that. But when we're not, it's just that lazy part of, I'm just not doing anything, and I'm not waking up. I'm sleeping in late. So I think just as athletes, you could kind of you get a feel for who they are, and I think even as coaches, coaches will see, like, man, you know what? You kind of figure out who they really are, where you see if they're working hard or they're just they're just wasting their time, because like we are a student athlete during the school year, but you're just an athlete in the summer.
Yeah. And what's crazy too, Chris, is that the same things happen to us spiritually.
Right.
We we want to slack. We go through times and seasons in our life when we want to go to sleep on God, when we want to take a break from God. But really, when you do that, when you slack on God or take a break from God, again, you're just setting yourself up to lose. Right. It's really no different than anything else. You say, I'm just going to stop reading my Bible for a while. I don't need to go to church. I don't need these things. And then you start to see yourself slip and fall and mess up and get into trouble or whatever, stuff that would never have happened, but it's because you're taking that break that you were never meant to take. We're always supposed to be working and moving forward and getting closer to God. And when you do that, man, He sets you up to win. That's why we call it life sports, because life's a sport that God wants you to win. And so it's important that we don't take those breaks, that we don't slack off, that we don't get lazy, but that we continue to work hard in every area of our lives. And when we do, we'll win. That's the bottom line.
And it really comes down to that self-discipline. I mean, hard work is not addicting. It's not something that like, oh, I have to do it. Like, you really have to find something in you to help you work hard. Even like reading the Bible or going to church, God never set that up for it to be addicting. He wanted us to make it a choice and have us, commit to something. So I think it's really important for us to understand that it is that time. When you have practice from 3:30 to 5:30, you're going to go to it. I mean, your coach set that up, someone else set that up. But what if, like, I've done this before. I go, like, I'm going to work out today from 1 to 3. Then it gets to 1 o'clock. It's like, I'm kind of tired. Let's do it tomorrow.
Yep.
Or even if you do work out, it's like, all right, I got my, I'm going to the weight room. I got all these things I'm going to do. You get tired, it's like, oh, maybe just a few reps of this, few reps of that, I'll call it a day. So it really comes down to that self-discipline of an athlete and also us as Christians.
So real quick, what do you do to keep yourself disciplined, to keep yourself on track when no one else is holding you accountable?
Well, it comes to holding myself accountable. Even like, especially spiritually, I make sure I'm serving, because I think serving in L Kids and in the U, that holds me accountable to God, because I'm not just going in and out of the church and people don't know me. But if I stop going, then people are going to ask, they're going to go, where have you been? How's it going? Yeah. So they're going to try to reel me back in. So I make sure I stay connected with people that will hold me accountable. And then it makes sure on my time alone, God sees everything, so I got to make sure I'm doing the same thing.
And I think that's great to keep in mind as we wrap this up, is that there's always someone counting on us.
Right.
So whether it's at church and you're teaching kids, those kids are counting on us to be there for them. If it's your teammates and you're not working out or you're not showing up to practice, well, you're letting your team down. And so we have to be there. We have to hold ourselves accountable, because we make more than just ourselves better. We make those who are around us, we make them better. Right. So let's work hard. Let's use this summer to our advantage, because God wants us to win. Stick around. We're so excited. Up next, we got the winningest Lobo in UNM history joining us right here in the studio. You don't want to miss it. So we'll see you back in just a little bit.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Folks, there's no other way but to be all in. Either He's Lord of all, or He is not Lord at all. And you can experience the real and authentic, true life change that only God can provide to humanity. See, when we truly encounter Jesus and purpose to know Him and follow His teachings, # life change will occur.
Welcome back to the Live Sports in New Mexico show. We've talked about evil for evil, insult for insult. What do? We actually do the opposite. We actually try to be a blessing with them and kill them with kindness. Also, we have talked about what kind of athlete are you during the summer? Are you sleeping in? Are you not working as hard? So we have to kind of figure out what athlete you are. So I'm here with a very special friend of mine, the winningest Lobo in UNM history. All right, I asked our producer asked you, how should we title your name? And I said, I think you'll like that the best. How much does that mean to you, just being the winningest Lobo?
It just means a lot. It just will carry with me for the rest of my life. You know, it's attached to my name. Just helps me out with promoting and helping out. Like I said, it's a legacy that's going to be with me for a long time, and I was blessed enough to have it, and it's just a blessing. That's
good, yeah, because for me, I'm the winningest walk-in of all time, and then it's one of those things. I think it really kind of speaks volume to the kind of players we were. We were, kind of those guys that we didn't get what we wanted, really. You came off the bench, and I wasn't getting much playing time either, but it was that time where we had to say, we were just great teammates, and I think that's really going to help you as what you're trying to do here in Albuquerque. You're moved back here in Albuquerque. You were living in Houston. Kind of talk to us about what you've been. It's been a while. 2013.
2013.
You graduated. Yes. So what have you been doing? Since your Lobo days.
Since I graduated, I took a year just working out. It was hard for me to get a professional job.
Right.
But like I said, I stayed in the gym. I worked hard. I finally got a shot. I did a couple tryouts, and I landed in Chihuahua, Mexico.
Oh, okay.
I landed in Chihuahua, Mexico. My first gig took me about a year and a half, but I stayed strong. It was great. It was a blessing, going to a different country. It was kind of hard to adjust, because I knew Spanish, but I didn't see it every day like that.
Yeah, all those Spanish classes we took in college, it was kind of out the door.
Spanish classes, it's out the door.
So give us a little Spanish real quick. Give us a little taste.
I could just say, mi amo is Jamal. My name is Jamal. I mean, I know.
My name is Jamal.
I know a lot more, but
were there translations out there in Mexico that helped you out, or
kind of most of the time when you're translating, it's your teammates. Most of your teammates know a little bit of English because they've been around the game enough, and they have American teammates in and out every year. So I helped them with English, and they helped me with Spanish. So I mean, it was a blessing. But I landed in Mexico. I did very well. And I was blessed enough to play 2 extra seasons, so I got to play a full 3 seasons in Mexico, and I was just playing hard, just trying to keep the name up there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then also now you've like we talked about, you decided to move back to Albuquerque. We talked about this about a year ago. You said you wanted to kind of move back here and get back to this community. You grew up in Houston. So what kind of made you want to kind of make that decision to be back here in Albuquerque, New Mexico?
Well, after being in the Lobo and seeing the fan base here and how they treat you like royalty,
Right.
It just treat you like royalty everywhere you go. They want to shake your hand, take a picture, sign an autograph. It's crazy because from where I'm from like poverty in Houston. So I mean, coming from playing at the park in front of 15 people, and then coming here and playing in front of my freshman year, the pit sat 18,000. It's just a blessing. It just helped me out, and that's what it was good.
That's good. So now you're getting your own training business going, and I've seen you work, and I think Jamal, he does a really great job with the kids he's worked with, calling it Fenton Fundamentals. Talk a little bit more about what your vision is. Basically, you want to start your training program here instead of back home. So what's kind of your vision now for your business?
My vision here is just to bring my knowledge back from learning from Coach Alford, and because I played for Coach Alford and Coach Neal, and just my professional career in Mexico. I just learned so much, and I know here in Albuquerque, I can bring that knowledge back and just introduce fundamentals back to these kids, because I go to a couple high school games, middle school games, and I see they're lacking it. And Albuquerque basketball compared to Houston's basketball is a whole different level. You know, it's like I don't know if they take the time out a little more in Houston, but I mean, we got some great kids here in Albuquerque. But I feel like me being the small guy that I am, and I wasn't blessed enough to be 6'5" and 6'6", I can bring that short mentality, that big heart mentality to these kids in Albuquerque.
So I think that's why you see like coaches, like better coaches are the smaller guys, because the smaller you are, I think the more the more mental part of the game you need to have. So yeah, that basically answers my question of like, you know, I see it also in California too from here, and that's why I stayed here. It was just basically you know, that, you know, mentality was different, the physicality was different. So basically, how do you think you can help improve that here in Albuquerque? You know, kind of make it, you know, you want to bring in the stuff Coach Alfred taught you, but what are things that you think you could do personally, your own, you know, training mentality? What can you give to these kids that you work with?
Just my specialty would be probably the ball handling, but the biggest thing is, like when I played here for the Lobos, man, I went out there and played with heart every night. So I feel like if a kid that I'm training, I can see that he lacks heart, I feel like I can install that to him where the confidence is high, even though they might not be the best shooter, but they're out there playing their butt off, and they might be the best person on the floor and not even make a shot. Right. And I'm trying to get that IQ installed in a lot of these people. You know, some people, example for like Draymond Green, he doesn't shoot all the shots, or he's not the best player on the team, but sometimes he's the best player on the floor. Right. And that's a big thing. You know, you don't have to be the best player on the team. You can be the best player on the floor, getting your teammates involved, finding the right person and the right shots. If Chris likes to shoot in the corner, what can I do to create for Chris to get a shot in the corner? You know, and I feel like as a player when I was here, I did that a lot to Tony Snell, the great level player Tony Snell, Kendall Williams. I found him in the right spots, and I got credit for it too, but those guys made the shot that made it look good.
Nice. So if someone wants to get a hold of you, if someone wants to be a part of Fit and Fundamentals, how can they get a hold of you?
As of right now, my website's not up, but it's getting there. You could just contact me on Facebook, Jamal Fenton. You'll see me in the Lobo uniform. You'll see my face, but just inbox me, and we can schedule everything. The thing about my workouts is I work to the child's handicap. If I see, it's not all the same workout for everybody. If your left hand's weak, I'm gonna install drills for the left hand. If I feel like your bank shot is weak, I'm gonna install for the bank shot. You know, just it's different for everybody.
All right. Awesome. All right, so we didn't prepare you for this, but Brian has his rapid fire round.
It's rapid fire round.
ready for Jamal. So let's see how this goes.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, favorite basketball team?
The Rockets.
Favorite movie?
The Wood.
Favorite TV show?
Martin.
Okay. Martin. Okay. Red or green chili?
Neither.
What?
I'll
move back to Albuquerque.
I'll go with green. I'll go with green.
Okay. Best pizza topping?
Pepperoni.
Lake or ocean?
Ocean.
Nice. All right, Jamal, you did good.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining us. So yeah, you know, if you want to get a hold of Jamal, you know, hit him up on social media. Look out for his website. Thank you guys for stopping in. You know, hearing our insight of what we have about our life and our in sports. So that's what we really want to give to you guys as student athletes and coaches. So hopefully you come back next week, because we could potentially have another great Lobo coming in. So you'll want to check that out. So thank you for stopping by.